Hello! Thank you everyone for joining us on the final Hangouts episode of a Doge's Breakfast. I have with me James Morehouse. Hello, James.
Hello, Trent. Thanks for having me back. This is probably the
Uh,
final episode in Australia prior to the
Pleasure's
event.
all mine. Look, if I'm really super lucky, I might get an opportunity to squeeze together an episode tomorrow or Tuesday, but I don't know for certain. So,
Awesome. Yeah, I'm in a similar situation. I had a couple of games with Rob the other night that I wanted to get up, but it ended up going through a lot of the motions of what Haley does. So, um, still sitting on my camera.
yeah, I should probably actually wipe my camera. I've got to charge my batteries and shit because we're not going to get many opportunities to do that.
Yeah, or
You're
we just
probably
pick up another couple of SD cards. I've got the charger packed as well. Less than 48 hours to go.
2 days. So
Yeah,
this time, in 2 days' time, you'll be here in Brisbane, and
playing
we'll be
some
about to
games.
fly out.
Yeah, almost. I can't decide if I'm happy that I'm going to work for the next 2 days or not. I think it'll be good to sort of pass the time. Not that I'm not busy, but just I'd probably be twiddling my thumbs at home, being like, "Shit, I'm shit at War Machine.
Yeah,
Fuck."
mate, when I'm at work at the moment, I'm just spending all my time thinking about what I'm going to do. So yeah, it just needs to happen now. I've decided I'm sick of waiting. Let's go. Let's rock and roll.
Let's rock and roll. I'm actually really thankful that between now and Sunday morning, we're gonna have 2 or 3 games Tuesday night, six-ish games Masters, couple of games in teams. That's at least 10 games between now and the actual event of probably like good high quality games against you. And then when we get there, even if we get a scrub or two in the first round of Masters, it'd be good to get through that jet lag and get a couple of games under our belt and just sort of settle down a bit.
And get a feel for the environment and the standards that they set. Because so I have a pre-game ritual I like to go through with an opponent when I've never played them before, which is I'll basically go through, okay, mate. So when I roll a dice, I want it to be flat on the table. I don't want it to be, cocked in any way. If it's flat on the table, we play on. If it's in any way cocked, we just re-roll, and then there's no arguments, right?
Yeah.
Then you go through your terrain, and then you say what your expectations are with movement, things like that. So it'll just be
And
interesting.
then you move your books away from a third of the table that you've used to cover up your deployment zone.
You got to get in their brain, bro.
No.
No,
No.
I just think it's important to set expectations at the start of the game of what you want to have out of it, and that way, because the only time that people ever have issues in games is when their expectations differ. Like one guy thinks it's okay to have a take back and just moves his model, like moves his Morvana model out of melee range of a storm wall and just goes, oh, sorry, I meant to feet before that or whatever. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
that's an okay example, or couple of reads, shoot some guns or something like
pluck
that. I
that
forget
out
to
of the
snap fire. I'll forget to charge a wolf or something like that.
Yeah, just pluck
But
that out of the air. I mean that's a prime example of I would not have accepted that, but if my opponent just did it, like it's hard to go back from there. Like as soon as models been moved and shit, your game state's irreparable. So if you have that clearly set out at the start of the game, then there's no issues.
the other thing is that we we may be sort of unaware of some of the US customs. I'm pretty sure we aren't. I think we hold ourselves to a high standard, but we just don't want to get caught off guard by like. I do think we play a tighter. I don't know. It's hard to tell, but I do think that we potentially do play a tighter game. But if there's some element where we're being a bit loose, like I don't know, measuring the command of a unit or something,
Yeah,
it'll just be a good chance to tidy up bits and pieces between now and then. So I'm really thankful we can get 10 games in, basically.
yeah. So for me, I think if I lose a game in the Masters, I'll probably keep going. If I lose two, I'll drop out and go check out the convention. I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
I'm
yeah.
I am getting nervous about my third list, but yeah, I think and the remainder of the Friday, catching up with some of the guys, bits and pieces of Saturday, depending on how we go with the teams event and all that stuff. It'll be a good chance to just hang out with the guys, film some games, maybe get some friggin' exhibition games. That's the one.
I'll hopefully be catching up with a lot of people over there, getting some interviews. I'm going to try and flag a couple of PP staff and have a couple of interviews with them, and get some good footage for the Dogs.
And we can't forget the Between Two Ferns with Armness. Break it down. Boom, boom, boom.
We are removed from play. Wooka, wooka, wooka.
Awesome. But no, it's definitely here, ready to go, ready to rock and roll.
So we've got how many people on our private videos now? 60?
About 75-ish.
Okay. If any of you 75 people watch these videos, because I'm pretty sure not all of you watch them, and that's okay, I've got a very special announcement which I'm going to reveal to you before the rest of the world gets to find out about it. So it's very exciting. James, do you know what I'm going to say?
I'm not sure, actually.
All right, so over the last couple of months, James and I have been discussing some things with a couple of the American guys, and we're pretty excited that we've been invited to be a part of something which is going to be called Team Muse, and it is a collection of players across the world, and the mission statement, the goal of Team Muse is for us to share our knowledge, our information, our experience with the wider community to help improve the level of play across the world, and basically, have some fun along the way as well. But as a general rule, I think that's the mission statement, isn't it, James?
Yeah, it's looking at the list of players as well that sort of made the team. It's not just top level players who are winning every convention in America. It's a combination of top level players from Europe, from America, and hopefully we qualify as some of the top level players from Australia, but also some big community figures, such as the Chain Attack guys who are expanding so quickly. They've got 2 podcasts they're filming the WTC, and I think people like them really embody what it's all about.
Yeah. So there's a list of, it's actually probably about 20 people that are going to be a part of Team Muse, and there is going to be a special part of the Muse on Mini's website dedicated to Team Muse, and on there, all of the members of Team Muse will actually be contributing articles, podcasts, stories, videos, everything and anything, all, basically just trying to give out as much of our knowledge as we can and help, give the community as much support. And as you said, the Chain Attack guys are a good example of that. Not necessarily the best players that are out there winning all the conventions, but really doing a lot of great stuff. So it's going to start. The official announcement is going to actually happen the first day of Lock and Load, and you'll probably read about the press release then and find out everyone else. But James and I are a part of that, and I have been hinting at it in previous episodes. But yes, a Doge's Breakfast is going to continue. It may change its name slightly, I'm not sure yet, but it is going to become a part of the Team Muse program, and James and I are going to continue doing videos as a part of that. So, James, what are you planning on doing for the videos?
Yeah, look, I really want to continue the video stuff. I actually think that the podcast market at the moment is really flooded. There's probably about a good 20 podcasts out there at the moment, and as much as I'd love to start one, I think Australia has a space for one. I don't think the global network really has space. I delete 3/4 of the podcasts I could be listening to, and so I think that the videos, even though they're a bit lax, we've got you especially you, Trent. I don't have any full-length ones, but you've got a couple of full-length ones in there that I think people enjoy, and it's the sort of laid-back Australian, not casual Australian perspective, but we do take it seriously, as a lot of you have seen. That I'm looking forward to continuing. Part of the agreement with Team Muse is that we essentially put out a couple of podcasts, vidcasts, blog entries, army composition articles, a variety of different things to essentially help build the game worldwide. And again, I think there would be space for an Australian podcast, but that's not really what we're trying to achieve here. We're trying to show Australia off to the rest of the world. So I'm looking forward to continuing it. In terms of exactly what content, not sure entirely. Except the Canberra community is so fantastic. Even the guys are planning on potentially running an overnight event on the Sunday night / Monday, so that they can play events and then watch and then stream it live at Good Games Canberra, who's one of our sponsors. So, I mean, just documenting things like that and
That's
It's going to
awesome.
be a little bit difficult for us as well, being so geographically isolated. So honestly, early days, but lots of promise. What about you?
Well, yeah. So I was extremely
Mm.
surprised. I was actually asked to be one of the captains. There's two captains of Team Muse, which is myself and Keith Christensen. And I think that I was obviously very honoured to even be asked to consider it. And I had a bit of a think about it because I wasn't sure that I wanted to fully commit to the time involved in doing that. But I've decided I'm going to. And I think it's important for me as a captain to be really um, living by the mantra of what we're trying to achieve, which is, furthering the community and helping the community develop. And for me, I'm going to actually document the process that I take when I start an army. I'm going to go through from start, the very first stages of playing my first games. I'm going to document painting the army. I'm going to document, the list construction processes I take. I'm going to document the first games and basically just go through that whole process. The tournaments I play in with that new faction. So, and for me, that faction will be Menoth, which I'm super excited about. I've been planning on doing Menoth for about 2 years, but haven't got around to it. So this is going to happen, which is I'm super excited for.
And I think a ton of the community would appreciate the insight into what goes on in the inner workings of Hodor. So
Hodor.
Hodor.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting because I have a
You have a
sometimes
unique
opinion.
perspective and analysis and sort of methodology on how you approach things, and a lot
Yeah,
of yeah, it's just a unique thing that I think you'd be quite good at doing.
yeah. So that should be pretty good exploration. I expect that whole process to probably go for about 6 months, 12 months even. So that'll be hopefully really good viewing for everyone. And I don't think I'll continue with the regularity of videos we've done for this one because this has been something we're trying to give back. So probably going to aim for once a week as opposed to 3 or 4 episodes a week, which I've been currently doing.
Which is insane. One of the other things is as well. Again, it is really reinforcing that sort of global community. But I think that part of that, especially for us being two members of the team, is the Australian community and furthering the growth of that. And that was also the original idea of the Super Series. And I mean, Andrew Gilley has left us, which has gone on to do other things. But I would like to continue to see that grow, plus the growth, the formation, but also the growth of the four majors that you actually touched on from our previous gaming lives, being, in my opinion, being the ATC, CanCon, Super Series finals, and probably Convic, sort of one in each of the eastern states as well. And I'd like to see something major, Focus and Fury. I'd like to see that come back in Western Australia, and I'd really like to be able to use Team Muse as a chance to grow those 4 or 5 major events.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the four majors that we used to have at um, in fantasy, and I talked about it actually on Chain Attack. I think we need to be able to have something like that in War Machine because we've definitely
Mm,
got like such a great community. The ATC for me could actually be a watershed moment for our community where everything starts to build from that because there's been such
mm,
positive vibes from everyone that went. Like the Victorians would have gone back and gone, fuck, we've got to go there next year and have just as good a time. The Queenslanders loved it. Sydney guys obviously had a blast. It's just going to be something I hope to see grow and help the community establish those ties and get everyone to travel because that's one thing that our community has that's different to everyone else is we're so isolated and so spread that there's a lot of financial commitment involved in traveling for quite a
mm.
few tournaments. So there's got to be a real sense of community to actually make you want to do that.
There's got to be those community leaders as well, and as much as I'd love to be in a position to be able to run a con, I really can't myself put up my hand to run a big con. But after the ATC finished, we had about another 10 interstaters sign up for WinterCon, which I'd love to see build up into a small-sized con. So having 4 to 5 of those, it's easy to just stay at home and play in 10, 12-man tournaments, 16-man tournaments. I'd really love to see those kind of 50-man plus events continue to build up, and then they're essentially just being CanCon for the 120 plus, and then the Super Series for the top 16. I think that there's a lot of international interest as well, and pending our potential success in Iron Gauntlet, that could really help catapult it forward. So watershed moment is definitely the phrase.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, but it's an exciting time. So, Team Muse, keep your eyes and ears open for that. You'll hear the official announcement at Lock and Load, but because you guys are so important to us, I announced it to you guys a couple of days early. So, it's pretty exciting
Trent's
times.
just breached his contract in 5 different spots as well, so he'll probably be off the team by the time it's actually announced. So that's I'm checking.
I'm the captain, mate. I can do what I want.
I can do what I story of your life.
So, no, it's all good. Like, to be honest, the people that are on this are just going to be, probably don't even have the internet yet, mate. So it's not going to go anywhere.
No. It's I'm really excited about this. I think it's a really cool initiative.
Yeah,
Plus,
look,
we get shows.
We're really blessed to be a part of it. There's no other Australians involved at this point in time, but that's not to say that there won't be in the future. And you know, the vision for it is to be a cyclical thing that changes and constantly evolving list of members and stuff. So, you know, James and I might hang up the boots in 12 months' time or 2 years' time, and some other guys might take our place, or we may add other people along the way. So really, lots of exciting things happening for us. And
one of the lucky things for us is that we actually get to meet the majority of the rest of the team over there as well on Saturday night.
Yeah, we've got a Lock and Load meet and greet with the Team Muse, which is going to be incredible. So, anyway, speaking of Lock and Load, as James and I have alluded to, it is 2 days away. We leave for Seattle in 2 days, which I am absolutely shitting myself. I'm almost all packed. I haven't actually put it all in the suitcase yet because my army box is going in the suitcase, and I'm playing games tomorrow and I'm playing games Tuesday. So it'll actually be a last-minute pack, but that's intentional. Everything's ready to go in.
I currently have my War Machine bag in my big suitcase and one USB cable. So if I leave like this, I'm fucked. But we're almost there. I'm gonna finish packing in a minute. But we've got the Aussie shirt, the Socceroos shirt, the OETC 2012 shirt. Australia, you've got the Australian flag ready. You've got Simon and Wally.
I've got our two mascots, which is Simon the Platypus and Wally Wombat, both ready and excited to come to Seattle. It's the first time they've ever been to America, both of our mascots.
I do have a potential another mascot. I'm just going to grab him. I'll be 1 second.
Okay, I'm excited. I'll fill up the void while James is not there. Wally is a wombat that we took to the first WTC trip, which was over in Munster in Germany, and he has been to Germany, he's been to Poland, he's been to Austria, and then we also added Simon, who came with us to Austria and Salzburg last year, which was awesome. So
he's quite well travelled, actually.
Yeah, he's been to probably more places than my family have. So
we need to get him a little baby marsupial shirt.
We need to get him a little passport.
And just stamp it of all his little War Machine conventions and all the little team events that he's been to. That'd be awesome.
I'm gonna go get one.
We got it to the baby passport, or even it could just be like not post-it notes, but just a tiny little book. So Steph actually gave this to me when I moved to America, but his name is I'll reveal his name in a second, but we know how hard pressed Simon is for Simon the Platypus finding girls. Not Simon Gay Hall. He's great. He's great at sourcing other partners. But we know how hard pressed Simon the Platypus is. So this is potentially his long lost partner, Simone the Platypus. They could be an item. We could see how it goes. I don't know. I want to meet you. Oh.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So we've got 3 mascots, but there's only 2 of us. That's a bit upsetting.
I think Simone will end up staying, honestly.
Okay.
Steph's crying.
So I'm taking the Australian flag as well to wear as a cape, which I did at previous WTCs. Now Toyra actually suggested to me that might be a mistake because Americans get quite patriotic about their flags and they think it's disrespectful. So I'm just going to wear my flag as a cape and fly around the fucking room.
So caution to the wind. Forget that.
Yeah, who cares?
I legitimately think we should take it for a variety of reasons. When one of us win, we can whip it out.
Yep. have it
That,
when because they'll do the presentation on film, right? I'll go hang the fucking flag up behind the presentation thing. I don't give a shit. That'd be awesome.
I remember the Lock and Load 2014 banner. Just have it'll be like Lock and Load, and then just a giant Australian banner in the background. Or just
Let's do it.
get an interview with Omnis, and they can bring like a remove from play banner, and we'll just hang the Australian banner over that. Like between 2/3, 20 gum trees, mate. That'd be awesome. I really want to do it. Yeah.
So, how are you feeling? Let's start wrapping it up. How are you feeling about the trip? You confident? Not confident?
I was thinking about this, and that regardless of if I'd played 10 games or 100 games, I'd probably still be feeling like I want to play more games. I'm also feeling definitely not tired of the lists in the same way that I was about Super Series, but I have been thinking about other factions and other lists, within Circle that I want to run, but not to the point where I'm burnt out or anything, just nice, comfortable. So again, I really hope those 10 games go well, because that'll be quite telling. How about you?
I'm feeling like I've got a handle on my lists, but for whatever reason, I'm not playing quite as well as I was. So I went on a holiday November last year, and prior to that, I felt like I was on fire, like I was just winning everything. And then I went on a holiday and I didn't do any soldiers for like 6 weeks, and I came back and I was just like 75, 80%. And I didn't go well at the Super Series, and then I sort of picked up at CanCon and was going well, but like I had a pretty lucky run in the final, and then I got lucky in the actual final game, and like I haven't really felt like I've been playing at my absolute potential, and I feel like I'm still at 95%, and I'm just hoping that these last few games will be like.
That's 1 week out. That's a good place to be.
Well, yeah, but I'm just hoping that these last few games will be like, the sword's been forged and it's getting stuck in the water, ready to polish up. That's
No.
a bit of blacksmithing there for you, mate. So just one of my many skills.
Well, you're a blacksmith in your time off. I can understand.
Yeah, mate, I've got plenty of skills. Blacksmithing's just one of my hobbies.
Ridiculous. No,
Has been a stand-up comedian.
there is the thing of peaking too early, but I'm not sure that 110% applies to War Machine.
No.
So again, even Tuesday night, I'm really looking forward into getting into a couple of games. I don't care if I win all of them or lose all of them.
Yep.
Just getting that sort of top tier level play would be good. The other thing is, again, we haven't played against the Americans, so it's really hard to scout out where we sit.
I'm really looking forward to. I just had a funny comment from some random guy. I'm really looking forward to those games because, you and I, we never get to play on the table, and when we do, it's really awesome. So, yeah, like I'd probably I'm hoping to lose games at the moment because I feel like I need to see weaknesses in the list as opposed to see the strengths, and try and figure out, be thinking about ways to cover those weaknesses. Like I know what my list can do, but I don't know what my list can't do, if you know what I mean. Like I've had nearly 30
You have had a
games.
lot of good practice, though. You've been playing Josh, Potsy. Those are two of your main opponents, not to mention people like Sheldon. And I think that's really invaluable stuff. I absolutely no disrespect to any of my opponents, but I wish every single one of my opponents at the moment had been Rob standard. Oh, majestic. Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if that peaking too early thing does apply or not, but you've been putting in a lot of hard yards. One of your weaknesses is not knowing what things do and being caught out, and potentially a new faction. And I think you've covered those weaknesses really well in your lead up. So
Yeah,
the other thing is as well, there's not much we can actually do ourselves. It's not like we can just be like, okay, over the next 10 days I'll really work on positioning. It's not like that. It's just being 100% mentally on the ball, and we got to watch jet lag.
fine tuning. Yeah, we're going to be pumping the Red Bulls, that's for sure. Probably about 7 of those will get drunk on the final.
Starbucks.
Yeah, like I just want to feel like I've given it everything I can. and I've tried to be really methodical in my preparation and tried to do as much as I can and give myself a chance. But
Mm.
like you might get there on the day, and I might play fucking Fiora 2 first round and have not thought about her at all, and just get smashed. I was listening to Chain Attack today, the Dojo episode there, where they were talking about Mike Puryear's lists, and so he's got Fiora 2 and Harbinger, and I was just thinking about it, and I was like, well, I haven't really got a plan for
Mm.
Fiora 2 as yet. What happens if I come up against Adjudicator? So I've got
Mm.
I do have an answer, but it's not great.
That's
And so,
one of the many beautiful things about Iron Gauntlet is that you can just sit back and go, oh my god, I could be playing anything.
yeah, I just don't know.
That's,
So part of the fun challenge of it is being able to be adaptable and flexible. So I'd like to think that you and I are quite flexible and handle it quite well.
yeah, I agree, and I think that adaptability to play a responsive sort of game style is the main thing. I would the main thing I would like to be happy with is that we have done everything in our power to give us every chance to succeed. That's all that really matters. If we've done 100% of that, you can't ask for any more.
Yeah, which I feel like we have.
I feel like we have if I played another 500 games.
If I played another 7,000 games, I'd probably feel like I have. I sort of
Anyway,
feel like I wish that I had have from CanCon sat down and gone, okay, my focus now for the next 4 months is Iron Gauntlet, and just played Iron Gauntlet games non-stop for that 4 months. I didn't. I had 2 months off, and then I got into it for the last 2 months. But I
mm.
just
Yeah, but part of that process as well is tuning in what you actually want to take. I was playing a lot of Chromac, a lot of Cassius, a lot of Morvana 1 because Shamblers just came out as well. And I was seriously considering Morvana 1 and Cassius, and it took me a while to actually arrive at this conclusion. So if you take the last four or 5 months, and then if only the last 2 of those months was using the list that you're now taking, it's still ample preparation. I mean, it would be lovely to be able to go, end of January, bam, bam, these are my lists, let's play these. But I don't think that's even possible.
mm. Oh well, the good
Anyway,
news is we're going to find out in about 7 days, aren't we?
I am. Yeah, it'll all be over. What's this Sunday night? So in a week and a couple of hours, round one will be kicking off.
Yep. Fuck.
All right. Finally, any shirts updates?
It's been a bit of a stressful week. The shirts, we've had a bit of fluctuating. The current situation is the shirts should be arriving tomorrow. And the
Awesome.
episode that I'm hoping to put together is a quick episode of us actually unboxing the shirts and
Sensational.
everyone getting to see that. So there is a possibility the shirts may not get here tomorrow. If that happens, they might be here Tuesday, which will still be okay because I'll be able to pick them up. But if they're not here Tuesday, we do not have shirts for the trip. It's going to be alright because James and I have got a plethora of Australian team shirts and all this other stuff, so we'll
It
be
would be
fine.
nice to
But
have Whaley and Hayden and Southwell and the Chain Attack and everyone wearing. That would be
yeah,
cool.
everyone wearing the shirts, all the donators, it would be nice for the people that are there to have them. So it actually is going to suck if they don't have them. So I'm trying not to think about it at the moment. I'm just hopeful that they're going to turn up tomorrow and I'm going to be happy as a fucking whatever something really happy is.
As happy as SpongeBob SquarePants. Um,
Yep.
the other last thing I want to touch on as well is hopefully you all got my email. Anyone who's watching this video prior to lock and load, hopefully you all got my email. Everyone seems to have got it. The response was really good. Again, it's the fairest sort of way I could think about distributing various things that we have access to. I've had a couple of people ask for basically special consideration, special treatment, special preference. Please don't put me under that, guys. It's not really fair. Everyone who's donated to this is absolutely sensational. It shows the strength of the Australian community. So, again, I'm going to do my best. Let me know what you'd like. That'd be great. I don't want to come home with 2 Borka 2s and then find out that we only have 1 troll supporter. And a lot of people want pins. I'm going to try and grab as many pins as possible. But again, I just cannot promise anyone anything. we're just going to do our best. So thank you for understanding. The response was really good.
Yeah, James and I sort of talked about it, but when he sent out that email, it was as much of a surprise to me as it was to everyone else. But I'm really great initiative, and look, we'll do the best that we can. Everyone just has to keep in mind that we get in there on the Friday morning, and the Masters tournament starts at 10 o'clock. We get in at 9 o'clock. So whether we'll have an opportunity in that 1 hour window to go to the stalls to buy things, I think everyone's going to have the same idea. Whether we, scrub out after 2 rounds and have a time after that, or whether we just have to wait till the second day, we don't know what's going to be left over. We may just get the dribs and drabs. So if that's what happens, that's what happens. We're not promising anything. We're just going to do the best we can and get as much for everyone as we possibly can. So
yeah,
yeah.
The thing is, we're actually on a massive time constraint, mainly due to the WTC. I'd love to be able to spend a week either side of the event, but the event itself is going to be jam-packed in terms of playing more Machine, meeting up with other players, interviews, etc., privately press peeps. That honestly, the last thing I want to do is go and spend hours waiting in a line for a shop. But we're going to do our best. So
yeah. All right, mate. Well, that should pretty much do us, I think. Well, the next time you will see James and I on a Doge's Breakfast, it will either be me unpacking shirt or us saying g'day for our first episode of us being together in the flesh since CanCon.
yeah, true. We might be able to whip one up Tuesday night, except they do take a while to upload. Again, we might try and do a couple of things over there in terms of uploading videos. Again, no promises, but probably the best way to get in touch with us is Twitter.
Twitter. Yeah, we'll both be tweeting as much as we can when we're over there, if we remember.
And we'll write our Twitter handles in the show notes down here.
Yeah, James can do that because I don't know how to do that shit. Yeah, we'll tweet as much as we can. We probably will not get any chance to upload videos that take forever. I have a week off when I get back from this trip, so I'm going to put together as many episodes as I can in that time. So hopefully it'll only be a week after after we've gotten back that we'll be able to have the videos of the whole trip for everyone to see. So yeah, it shouldn't be too long, but yeah, it's just the videos are a huge part of the trip for us and what we want to do, but we're not gonna try and worry too much about putting them together while we're on the trip. We'd rather actually experience it and have it happening and just get footage of what's happening and then worry about putting it all together when we get back.
Awesome.
And there's Simone, the platypus.
Simone the Platty. All right, cool. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. See you in 48 hours, Trent.
See you, buddy. You're a fucking legend.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.